Welcome to Born for the Trades, a home service podcast. I'm your host, Mandeep Bala. And unfortunately, my co host, she could not join because of some emergency, but she'll be there on the next one. Today, we have a special guest, and that person is so close to me. And it's like, we are a part of family from the beginning when we met. His name is Brian. Welcome, Brian.
How are you doing, Mandeep?
Doing
Thanks for
well.
having me.
Thank you so much. And I want to just share who you are. Let's get started with that. Brian is the owner of Crossway Mechanical and based out of like Houston, Texas. To his inaugural podcast appearance, like hailing from Mission, Texas, Brian embarked on a remarkable journey in the air conditioning and heating industry. With a career spanning over 27 years, he began as an installation worker on residential homes. Captivated by the artistry of replacing HVAC systems, Brian's unwavering dedication to his craft fueled his pursuit of excellence, constantly honing his skills and striving to be the best in the industry. Today, he stands as a testament to the power of hard work and the fulfillment found in mastering a trade. Join us. Brian shares his insights and experiences, unveiling the secrets behind his success. And we're going to talk about high performance contractors. Get ready for an enlightening conversation with Brian, a seasoned professional committed to enhancing the world of air conditioning and heating. Welcome, Brian, to our show.
Join us as we dive deep into the world of home service entrepreneurship, interacting with industry leaders, coaches, and entrepreneurs about their experiences, challenges, and victories. Through their inspiring stories, we hope to equip our listeners with the tools and knowledge they need to succeed in the competitive home service industry. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, tune in to Born for the Trades podcast for invaluable insight and real-world inspiration.
I want to just share our story with the audience, to the listeners, to those who are watching this episode. Want to just give history about us. I know I started back this company Grow Nearby in 2017, but I went all in right before COVID, which is in 2020. And I'm so grateful that, you saw vision and you believed in me. You saw vision in Grow Nearby, and you gave the opportunity to work as your digital marketing partner. And I just want you to share your story with the audience so that, let's get started with that.
Yeah, so like you said, when you started in 2017, we were working with you and, doing our marketing, and we saw your passion for what you had for Grow Nearby now, and your passion for helping small family-owned and operated businesses in the trades, plumbing, electrical, HVAC. But we had the trust that we had with you, the way you spoke and carried yourself meant a lot for us. And when we decided to, jump in with Grow Nearby now, and but I've truly appreciated the relationship that we've had. You and helping us out with questions and keeping up with all the technology and the latest and greatest. We always got emails and input from you, but flown over here several times, taking pictures, videos, helping us with our website. So, and I would say that a lot of that has attributed to us having success in the northwest area of Tomball or Houston area. But it's our website. It's people understanding our customers' testimonies about who we are, how we do things. And I've really enjoyed working with you and your staff. You've had some amazing people on your team. But your vision, you and I are like-minded. We're very thankful for the opportunity that we have living in this country, the country that gives you the opportunity to do whatever your heart desires. If you can dream it, you can make it happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I just want to add, this is one of the best countries in the world here. I just got goosebumps. I born in India, and I can proudly say that I made in the US. I put in the work like you, and we have been working together. And it's not just about get it done. Once it's putting in the work every single day, not just about your company, when it comes to your health, your family. I think it goes everywhere, right? What's your perspective on overall health, family? Like, what's your take on that?
Yeah, so I've always kind of been really big into fitness, and I've had some really good mentors in the air conditioning industry that are pillars in this industry that have been around and are now retired. And but I saw those guys always struggling with going up a ladder and different things bothering them and aches and pains and stuff like that. And so in my mind, I always thought out, well, I mean, I want to take care of myself and I want to be able to do this and be healthy and and last a long time in the industry. I've seen a lot, just this industry is a very brutal industry, working in the heat, carrying a lot of stuff, just
Right.
the hot addicts. But so my wife and I and my kids, we live a high performance, lifestyle. Like we try to eat clean all the time. We work out, stay fit. I've been involved with Brazilian Jiu Jitsu for 12 years. So I've always done things to keep me active, um, committed, and fit. I want to be that example.
Right.
It's for my team and for my family.
No, absolutely, and I think you are the perfect example. And I know, like, we visited like multiple times to, like, to your place, but I'm always like excited. Like, you took us to the shooting range of, like, multiple, like, good food places, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yes,
And
sir.
always have a good time with you and Layla, and your team is outstanding. You have deployed like great work culture. Each and every person in your company is like outstanding. Like, they are kind, they are passionate what they do, and I think that comes from the leaders like you and Layla. So keep doing the great stuff that you're doing, Brian and Layla.
Yeah. One of the things that we did with our team is we wanted to create a culture that this wasn't just a job. We wanted them to be excited about coming to it. So we've invested in them. We make them a part of it. I mean, they have a lot of contributing ideas, um, but we invest a lot in training, the
Yeah.
proper tools, and we even though we're a small family-owned and operated business, I mean, we still hold people accountable and we run it like if we're a big outfit. um, but we have structure, we have processes in place, process driven. But the team that we have, and of course we in order to keep and maintain good people, you have to have benefits and uniforms. And so we do think we try to do the things that make people feel part of something, and that's something is going to be big and long term.
Right. No, that's definitely. And the reason of, like, doing this podcast to the listeners, those who are listening, this is going to be great for the home service industry, HVAC, homeowners, because Brian has like a lot of like technical knowledge when it comes to HVAC. And Brian has done a lot of, I would say, installed and handling technical work. Like when it comes to high performance, when we were discussing, we thought let's do podcasts and let's, like, share with the world. So, Brian, as a H as an a high performance HVAC contractor, what sets you apart from others in the industry? What inspired you to specialize in this area?
Yeah. So I've always had a passion for doing things right. Like I said, and what you had mentioned in the earlier is, I started off as an installer, and I always enjoyed seeing the finished product. I could actually envision
Hmm.
the installation being finished before I even started the job. And then
Wow.
when you talk to the homeowners at the end and you see the results, and man, it's never felt this good before. We have better airflow, and and it's taking time to do things the right way. Um, and that's what I focused on. And then years ago, I found NCI, National Comfort Institute, and I started going to their trainings, plugged in with them, and
Right.
it changed everything about how I look at things. I mean, it's high performance contracting, high performance diagnostic, high performance installation, um, service. And so one of the biggest things that I've taken and implemented is, if you're not measuring, you're just guessing, or you're
You're right.
somebody that has an opinion. And that's some of the taglines that they use to teach and train you. Like, you have to be able to capture the data. And if you can understand what an HVAC system does for a home, then you can actually, talk about it, and you can explain it in details if you have captured data, facts.
Agree.
And so that's what we've done. We implemented it, and we've ran with it. And everybody has bought in and understood like how important it is to do this. And going on 6 years as an NCI member, we have a lot of our guys that are credentialed and trained, our installers, service guys, and it's part of what we do daily now.
Right. And I saw, no, thanks for sharing. And I think recently I saw, or maybe I missed it, like the full update. You got awarded at the NCI conference or something, right?
I did, yes, sir. This year, in May, they hold a conference once a year, and we actually won Contractor of the Year
Awesome.
for
Congratulations.
2023. Thank you. Yeah, and it was I sat there 6 years ago in my first meeting in Florida, and I told myself, like, man, I want to be like these guys. Like, there's no reason that
Right.
they're in the business like I am. They do the same thing I do, but I can be there. And 6 years later, I mean, come back, implemented things, bought the right tools, bought the right equipment, got our guys invested in it, started doing the training. It was something, Mandeep, like a lot of times in our industry, and when I think the biggest struggle that we have is we go to a lot of seminars and we go to a lot of like the local manufacturers have like, oh, they'll bring in a guy to do some training and you'll be on fire for 2 or 3 days or 2 or 3 weeks. You
Right.
come back
You get
excited and
excited.
we're going to do this.
Right.
Well, NCI, when I did this, it was life changing. I mean, I came home and I remember crying, literally crying, and just telling my wife, like, man, I thought I had been doing things the right way, but
Mm-hmm.
there's so much more out there, and there's so many things that I wasn't doing correctly, and I don't have the right tools to do it. And she's like, we'll just take it one day at a time. And how are we gonna do this? And just slowly start implementing. And it became a vision. And we kept speaking life into how we were going to do things,
Right.
and it just became part of second nature now of how we do things and how we operate here in Houston.
Look at the growth, look at the mindset that you followed, the path that you followed, and now you are crushing it. And it took time, but now you got that award too. So proud of you, Brian. What are you doing?
Thank you.
And can you explain the process you follow to measure and assess the performance of residential HVAC systems? Are there any specific tools or techniques you use?
Yeah. So one of the things that we do is we look at the whole house as a system. We don't focus on just the actual equipment. Anytime we go out there, we're looking at the ventilation of the home. We look at, areas that are hot, cold. We always ask the customers, if there was another place that you could have a thermostat, where would that be? And most of the times people will start telling you they live in that home. They can explain the discomfort areas and whether they have high humidity and all that. So we have a process. We have tools that we've invested in, manometers. We do static pressure measurements on every job that we go on. We want to
Okay.
know what the system's doing, how it's doing, and how it's performing. And like I said earlier, if you don't have that information, then you can't actually speak about it, right? A lot of our industry is trained. Well, just go put some gauges on it. What are the pressures? What
Right.
kind of temperature drop do you have? And a lot of times that's very misleading. A lot of people think, oh, I've got good pressures, I've got good captured data, I've got a good temperature drop, but there's a lot of hidden things that can create issues if you don't understand the whole function of the system correctly.
Got it.
And so we've invested in those tools, we've invested in the process, and we understand when we're there at a customer's house, we capture all the model and serial numbers, and the manufacturers publish what this system can actually do and how it can perform under this kind of resistance, or this, is it a poor duct design? Is it a poor undersized return air?
Right.
Things that customers don't know. Are they using the wrong filters? A lot of times these people, homeowners will say, like, oh, I want to buy this MERV 16 filter because I want the best filtration, but they don't realize that their system's not set up to use that MERV 16
Right.
filter.
And
Or
nowadays it's easy to order, like, from Amazon. And that's what I did. I ordered like something, but that was not exactly the filter for our house HVAC
right.
system. So yeah.
And so we just and one of the things that we've gotten really big on is educating the consumer about their system, how it performs, their boundaries of what they can and can't do with it. Because we live in a climate, well, just like Florida, we live where it's high heat, high humidity, and
Right.
people want to just hey, I'm going to drop the thermostat down to 69 or 70 degrees, or,
Mhm.
and the home wasn't designed to drop down
To drop
past
down.
74 degrees. Everything's designed, and, but what we've done on our installations and how we do things, we do manual J load calculations. We do manual S, which is the selection of the system to make sure that it would fit within that manual J reading. And then we do a manual D, which is the duct design. And so homeowners are getting calculated measurements. I tell them it's science, it's engineering, but it's tailored for your home and your
Right.
home, and when you do those things, it keeps you out of trouble, and it keeps your system performing, working longer, the longevity of it.
No,
We've proven it over the years. We've proven that how we implement and do things is key to having happy
that's
customers.
right, right. It's a lot technical that you are going into. Actually, I'm also learning. So I hope, like, to the listener, this is helpful to the homeowners or to the HVAC family. I'm sure this is helpful. And let's dive into more. I have a follow-up question, like, because you mentioned about the hidden things. Poor system performance can often have hidden causes, right? What are the some common underlying factors that homeowners might overlook, and how do you identify and address them?
So some of the things that we do when we're out there, if we capture data, we have some measure points that we have and that we take, and we capture this information, and it kind of lets us know, is the HVAC system operating positively or negatively? If it's
Okay.
operating negatively, then you can create an environment where you're bringing in infiltration through cracks, crevices, walls, from the attic, from recessed light cams, from different areas, right? So now, you can have an unhealthy environment in your home because now you're bringing in infiltration, humidity, more heat, because you have a bad duct system and your
Right.
house is running negative. Or, and then if it's running positive, now we're driving out moisture. And so, but the negative effects, to answer your question, you can create higher humidity, or if the system's not sized properly, you could, it can short cycle, so it never actually dehumidifies and cools. And so that's why I've seen a lot of homes where we've had some deficiencies in them, and they people are like, man, I have to keep it at 68 degrees just to sleep at night because it's so humid.
Right.
And they're trying to compensate by overcooling the house because the system cannot dehumidify. And
Right.
so, but and then it leads to other things, organic growth. If I work with a big community there's a mold uh, community that people have, sickness from mycotoxins, or mold poisoning, different types
Wow.
of mold that have been introduced, and a lot of it is because of a poorly designed HVAC system in a home, or
Oh,
poorly ventilation.
oh, wow. Wow. It's a lot. But it's helpful. Thanks for sharing, Brian. And could you share a few effective strategies or practices that you employ to improve the performance of residential HVAC systems? Like, are there any particular areas that homeowners can focus on to optimize their systems?
Yeah, I would say thermostats that have, you know they're able to read humidity. I think that's a big understanding to know. A healthy home is anywhere between 40 and 60% relative humidity.
Okay.
um, and so just knowing that, and then filtration, maintaining, keeping the filters as a homeowner. I tell people, and well, this is because I've been in it 27 years, but I used to tell people, every time that you get your electric bill, then you should be able to go look at your filter, right? It should be a reminder, like, the biggest consumption is the HVAC system.
I love
And
that.
but now it's different because everybody has it paid online or automatically and stuff. So, but find something that reminds you when you walk by there to look at that filter. And our now we have apps on our phones where it can remind us every 2 or 3 months that filter needs to be replaced.
Right. No,
So
I think that's definitely a great hack to look at your
yeah,
electricity bill. If it's going up, that yeah, something is wrong. You got to change your filters.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. And in your experience, like, what are the key benefits that homeowners can expect when they invest in high performance HVAC systems or take steps to enhance the performance of their existing systems?
Yeah. So there's a lot of things that I tell homeowners. If you're looking at replacing and designing a system, find a contractor, find somebody who actually does the proper steps and not just guesses and says, how much square foot do you have? Okay, you have 1,200 square foot, you need a 3-ton system. Construction has changed. We're building homes tighter. We're using better windows, sometimes foamed homes. So you can't
Right.
use the old, 400 square foot per ton, but find a contractor that actually does measurements. And I talked about earlier, like the manual J, the manual S, and manual D. Those are 3 things that, really specifically target your home, the direction it sets, the construction material, and it lets the contractor size the system for your home. There's accessories that homeowners can do to enhance the indoor air quality, and the comfort. I mean, in the Houston market area, we recommend standalone whole home dehumidifiers that
Okay.
help it aids the system, right? The HVAC system is a dehumidifier, but there's shoulder months, there's times where,
Right.
but having an additional accessory is highly recommended. And then we do filtration. We have HEPA filtration. We do UV lights, air purifiers, things to that nature to help improve the indoor air quality. Our homes sometimes are more toxic inside than the outdoor air, and it depends on homeowners use different chemicals to clean. Construction, new homes outgas for 5 years. So the VOC level, the chemical outgassing of appliances, products, carpets, flooring, glues happens. So we're breathing that in. The only filter that we have is our nose, and so we have to protect ourselves. And there's things that you can do to improve the indoor air quality and the environment in your home.
Oh, that's good. That's definitely, helpful. And like the, there are like listeners, they might be like starting their own HVAC company, or, they are doing great. Like what kind of like, what kind of advice would you give to the HVAC company owners, those who need like, more technical knowledge, or they want to just like grow and take it to the next level? So what kind of advice will you give to the entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I would say, and that's a great question. I have the opportunity to mentor a guy in Dallas who's just starting out, and we've been
Nice.
talking and stuff. And one of the things I told him is start from the beginning and implement things that are going to help you do things the right way. Don't take shortcuts. Shortcuts always find a way to come back and haunt you, but I say, when you're starting out, you're wearing so many hats, but start praying. Or my wife and I, we always prayed for the right people to come on board, and we found that when
Love
we
that.
started the hiring process, we found guys that were like-minded. And I would say, find that next person that can help you and hold you accountable to putting things in place to help you grow your business, and start speaking life into, like, man, I want to have 2 or 3 trucks, 4 or 5 trucks. And I did that, and I kept seeing that vision. And when you speak life into something, and you do the hard work and you do the demands, it just happens. I can't explain it. It's, but we've been very, very blessed um, with these opportunities like that, and that's all
Right.
I can say is I don't have an explanation, but I encourage everybody. It is a hard road, and it is but you're not alone in the industry. You have, I tell people, I've learned to collaborate and work with others. I don't
Mm-hmm.
try to throw anybody under the bus, but have the mindset that you're always going to continue to learn, because I'm at 27 years in it, but man, I still love to learn, and I'm learning. I learn daily.
Learn
And I
daily.
and I just, our Monday, our service meeting, I had given props to a couple of the young kids that have been in it a couple of years with me, but I've had to reach out to them to ask them, hey, help me get this unit, set up right, because it's digital. It's got, motherboards in it, and you have to do things. But they're so technical savvy about things. And I just
Right.
called one of the guys, and he's been in it 2 years with me. And it's like, oh, Mr. Brian, yeah, just do this, do that, do that. And I was working on it for 30 minutes. But I just goes to show you, like, just because I have 27 years doesn't mean I have it all, I'm understanding. But I have I have a team of people who are learning and becoming specialists in certain things with certain equipment that I can use as a resource.
Such a powerhouse. Like, thanks for sharing. And on top of that, you mentioned that, you and Layla, like you pray, like when you onboard any new person, that's like, it's all blessing. And I think that's the way to do it. It's great. And it shows, we visited multiple times. It shows each and every person is like dedicated, passionate, fun loving, and you have like, great work culture. And I want to talk about the marketing here. Like, you have been always open to the ideas. Like, it's not that, okay, let's just stick to this only. No, you have been always like trying new ideas, if that's going to work, if that's expensive, if it's going to work out. Yes, absolutely. So what's your advice to the HVAC or like, home service companies when it comes to marketing?
Yeah. Find somebody that you trust. I don't, that's an area that I'm not very, very strong in to understand it, but I thank God for the relationship that you and I have, because I trust you and I trust your team. And
Thank
whenever
you.
y'all say to go this direction, or hey, this isn't working, I felt like you have been there more to make that phone call to say, you know what, I know y'all are putting money this way. I've looked at it for the last 3 months. I'm not seeing a lot of hits, or I'm not seeing this. Let's take that money and allocate it somewhere else. And I found that person that I can trust, and I don't have to have a full understanding about it. And I think that so many people, and I see so many people try to focus on that, and then their other part of their business suffers. So I focus on my HVAC and running my business, but I've tried to do business with people that I trust, that, that I can sow into their company, and that we can have a partnership. You and I have a partnership. And that's my advice. But I'm thankful for it. I like, one of the biggest things is and the easiest things is the reviews. When you do the type of work we do, and you can get that review, and you can go to your app and click, and then they fill it out, it's made it so simple to get those back. And all of our reviews are 100% real testimonials. They're not, I never
Those are
was big into that stuff. I was always been a word of mouth guy. all
right.
of you know all of my advertising, everything was just word of mouth, right? Well, but now I have people out there speaking and putting things online about their experience, not just with Brian, not just with Crossway, but with the individual technicians that were out there, and they
Right.
love them. And I tell my guys, you're building a company within our company, because those
Exactly.
customers, they're calling back, and guess who they're asking for? They're asking for Axel, Daniel, David,
Exactly.
Jose, so those are and I said, so they want you back. They're not calling asking for Brian, but
Right. Yeah, that's what exactly is like, we see like, as a team, we look at like, those reviews coming, and they are calling out like, your team members individually. So great
yeah,
job on that. And thanks for sharing. And that's what it takes to get you there. And on top of that, let's say if anyone like, wants to reach out to you, what's the best like, mode to reach out? Like, what's the best place to reach out to you for any help? Let's say, like related to HVAC, technical, anything, if you don't mind sharing
yeah.
that.
The best way to get a hold of me is my cell phone. I mean, that's the best way to get a hold of me. But you can also email me, um, and we can put out the email out there. But I mean, I uh, I truly have enjoyed the training and teaching and coaching part of it. I don't have all the answers, but I have a group of people that we will find out. We have, whether it's Train, Linux, Carrier, all the name brands. I have made relationships with people that have answers, and so we can get answers. But um, it's but anything that I could do. I mean, advice wise, um, you know, one of the things that I wish I learned earlier in life is to slow down and make the memories with the family. We get caught up in trying to build a business, but um, without the family, and thank God for my family that supports me now. I mean, they've always supported me, but I just feel like, like I've sacrificed a lot to get here and put Crossway to where it's at. But um,
Right.
I would say, family is most important part of it, and making time for them to do that. So,
It's
but
very important.
any type of advice or resources, or man, I'm a phone call away or an email away to just, you know, help out, or just, let my struggles, or, whatever, I'll tell you, yeah, it worked for me. No, it didn't work for me. And, so, but
Thank you for that.
I keep it real. I keep it real, you know.
You always, and
Yeah.
like it's like you guys are like pure soul, and we connected from day one, and you're going above and beyond for everyone. It's rare to find people like you, and I'm glad that we are like friends, partners together. I'll put like all that your information in the description of this podcast, so that
Okay.
if people have any questions they can reach out, and yeah, they can go from there. But yes, to the listeners, I hope you enjoyed this show with Brian. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Brian. Or if you have any questions related to marketing, feel free to reach out to me. I have my cell number in the description. Thank you, Brian. I'm so grateful to have you on this show. If we just
Yes.
like enjoyed it, it was really good.
Yeah. Thank you,
Thank you.
Mandeep, for having me, and thank you for this time.